When we die, where do we go? What happens to our body? What happens to our spirit?
The problem of defining life after death has plagued philosophers and the religious bodies for thousands of years. Both have tried to define where we go from their own understanding and perspectives. What is death? Is there life after death? Join me on Soul Searching Hour as we talk to Dr. Jan Baffour, an avid spiritual guru, to get further clarity. Stay tuned on Soul Searching Hour.
I remember one time talking to my dad and saying, "Dad, have you done your will?" He's like, Ade, you want me to die? It's like something that we don't want to talk about, but it's something that is going to definitely happen to all of us. Why do we find it so difficult to talk about death?
Anything we can't understand, we have some kind of fear about it. So death is something most people don't understand. What is it all about? What is it? Why does it happen? See, the very first thing to understand is that you, the human, your body, is a mini universe. There is the greater universe, and this is a mini universe. So, in a sense, sometimes we say microcosm, and the greater one is macrocosm. It's a bigger universe. Now, as a micro universe,
Which is smaller.
Though it is small, a lot of things are going on inside it. And when we understand it, then we can understand the process of death. Our awareness is in this body. But then, through the process of death, we go beyond only this body awareness. We go into the greater universe. So we begin to be aware of the greater universe. When we are here, we are not aware of the greater universe. See, only our senses are extended so that we can understand some things about the greater universe. But you don't really feel it. So death means the expanding the awareness beyond the body and sort of feel the greater universe. That is why sometimes we use the word transition. Just move from one to the other. So the awareness is always there. Awareness is eternal, but what you are aware of is not eternal. It changes. You are aware of something today, tomorrow you are not aware of it. 1 minute you change awareness, what you are aware of, it changes. So when we get into expanded awareness, then we have awareness of the greater universe. And if we have a certain kind of frequency, we will be aware of certain portions of the greater universe. If we expand more, then we are getting aware of the whole universe. So, and the highest awareness, very heightened awareness, we assess the whole universe. You see, so that is death. It's just a change of object of awareness.
Okay. But what happens to our soul and spirit when we leave our bodies behind? What happens to it?
Spirit is actually one. When a portion of spirit is trapped in the micro universe, the portion that is trapped is a soul. So when there is no trapping at all, you expand fully, then that is what we call merging with God, one with God. So when a person realizes that state, he says, I and God are one.
Someone dies, somebody could say, I can feel their spirit around. What is happening at that time?
Yes, when the soul leaves this one, in fact, there are layers. The next one is more expanded than this. Next to that is also more expanded than the other. It goes on and on, expanding. So each stage, we can still call the person a soul because it's still trapped, but even though the object or the universe it is occupying is greater than this one, because it's a portion of the greater universe that is assessing at that time. So that means it's a soul still. You see, it's a soul still, and it can be felt. It can be felt.
I mean, I've been hearing that since I was young, that, you know, when somebody dies, their spirit is around for 40 days until, you know, and sometimes they even say until they're buried. You may get their spirit still floating around. Is that true? Is that possible?
Yes. Some of these things, they are partially true, but the truth, the real truth, is that when you shift to the next body, in fact, the layers are altogether 7. Okay. 7 layers. Wow. Now, when you shift to the very first one,
which is
the etheric body, it's more expanded than this one. And if you keep in that one, it's so close to this one that a lot of the things that go on resemble this. It's only a slight change. You see. Now, if you move beyond that one, which we call the vital body, that is also more expanded than this. And it goes on and on. Then we have the astral. Then from there, the lower mental, the higher mental, and the causal, and so on. But all these stages, it depends on your evolution level, your frequency before you died. You see, if the frequency is low and you die, you can only go to the very first layer. If the frequency is higher than that, you go to the next layer. You see? So it depends on how you lived your life, the frequency level. For example, if a rocket power base is not very strong, then when it goes up, it will not go far. The one which has more power will shoot higher than that. So if you generate so much power on the earth and you live, you go very far. You go to the highest layer.
Doc, how do we get there? How do we make sure that we fly as high
all
as
the way there.
to number 7?
That every soul is evolving so that you can reach that stage. So people are frustrated in life when they are not evolving. You see, there is something inside them. It's like something is missing, because at the end of this body, if you just move only to the next layer, the pattern of polarity is almost the same. So you are going to experience happiness and sadness. Happiness in this one, sadness in this one. You want to avoid the whole thing, but you go to the next layer very close to this. Then you are still observing these kind of things. So it's not so good. So every soul is yearning to evolve and go higher, but they don't know how, what to do. You see, so a lot of frustration in many souls. When you see somebody, let's say he takes to drugs or he drinks so much, it is that kind of expanded joy when you go very high that he has missed and he wants it and he doesn't know how to access it. So anything that will give some feeling, something, you're attached to it. But in actual fact, the real thing the spirit, the soul is looking for is when he can access it on a very high level. We have the ways and means to generate, to activate all the faculties within us so that when you are going to leave this body, you will leave already having joy, already having peace. That means the qualities of going high is already manifesting here. And so when you leave, there isn't this pain people think is associated with death. But at that state, you are the same joy, the same peace, the same love, you move with it. And you go to where it belongs, because frequencies go where they belong. If you generate a frequency that is high here, you go to where it belongs. You see? So, very low frequency, let me tell you something, the body itself, these 7 layers, they can be accessed through the body itself. We have 7 centers in the body. Each of them corresponds with a layer, one of the layers. So if you activate the lowest center, it keeps you here in this world, because this is layer number 1. That is why this reincarnation, because when you move, you can't go anywhere, you just come back. You live shorter, you come back. You see. But
so reincarnation is real?
Yeah, it's real.
Okay.
It's real. So if you actually generate more energy, you raise your frequency, then you don't actually belong here. That is why it is said you are here, but you are not of this place. You see, that means your frequency is not for here. So when the time comes and your frequency is joining where it belongs, it's not like dying, it's rather going home. Because where you have access already, you are just shifting, just there, and there's nothing like death.
Sometimes somebody also can say that, oh, wakwala we, I say, wabahada, like they've been here before. Yeah. Or as akwakra, the way they're acting.
2 things decide our coming back. Okay. One is desire. You see, when we grow up, we have desires. You see the children, they want toys, they want this, they want that. As we grow, we have a lot of desires. So when you are leaving the world and the desires are unfulfilled, there is a subtle link with the things you desired. You see, and it pulls on your spirit, your soul, to come back. And that is the first pole. The second pole, when we have credit, debit. When you think a thought, you get debit or credit. When you speak, you get debit or credit. When you act, you get debit or credit. So these things, when they are not really fulfilled, let's say you have credit, but it's not balanced out. It's not giving you. If you have debit, it's not paid. You see? So these things will be looked at. Is universal justice. Great Spirit, in its wisdom, makes everything just. So the imbalance, he will seek a balance for it. In science, we say nature hates vacuum. So if you create a situation where something is lacking, nature wants to fill the place. You see? So if you do something that gives you credit, nature wants to fill it up and balance it out. If you do something negative and it gives you debit, nature wants to clear it out off by letting you face certain things. So these things are real, and they decide our coming back. See? So the coming back is based on two things: desire and also cause and effect, or let me say credit and debit.
Okay. But can you choose how to come back and who to be when you come back?
Good. The higher you go in the layers, the more you have control. Wow. You see, because you are nearing the Great Spirit. You see, we came down in that way, slowing down vibration, and then came this way. So when you are going back and vibration is increasing, you are resembling the source. And because you are resembling the source, you are empowered. You see, you are empowered, you have power over the lower vibes. See, so in science we say the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. So you are more empowered as you go higher and higher. And then you can play on the lower. You become part of the puppeteer arrangement. You become a puppeteer, a co-puppeteer.
When a family member dies, so say your mum or so dies, and something is happening and you feel like the thing that was happening was stopped because of the spirit of your mum. Can a spirit still control what is happening on earth? Like maybe the mum has died and left a young, small child. Can they really guide their child with their spirit?
Good question. A lot depends on the second part of the thing. I mentioned that desire. Desire and attachment are almost the same things. So when we live, what we desire so much, we have so much attachment to those things. And therefore, it's like we have left, but we haven't left because of the link by desire. You see? So whenever you have a link like that, through that link, there is feeling, and energy can go across. So in actual fact, that can happen. Yes. But it is also true that when you are going higher, or you leave the lower vibe and you are going towards the higher vibes, then you lose hold of desire also. That is why when somebody develops so much, he has almost no desires. The polarity of the down and the up is I am, and the down is I do. So down here is activity. But as you are nearing the higher, is I am, it's relaxed. It's not I do. But down here, the I am is suppressed, and it is doing, you see. So even though the mom has gone to the next state, it is still having a link down, but the agitation to really do something is loosened a bit. Okay. Yeah, so is more empowered, but to do something is not so much eager like when she was inside. Yeah, yeah. But nature takes time to bring her back into the drama because of that link, that desire.
And Doc, you know, some deaths are painful. Maybe you heard a child had leukemia, or a child had an accident, or maybe a mother was giving birth and her child died and she died. Some deaths are so painful. Children and, you know, young people that you're thinking, there's somebody that's doing so many bad things on this earth and they're still alive. And then this child is only 5 and has passed away.
Yeah. Yes, anything that happens, we have 2 causes. We have immediate cause and remote cause. The remote cause is always hidden to people's worldly awareness. But the immediate cause, everyone knows this happened, maybe it's an accident, something. But the remote cause doesn't make it an accident. It is something which has to happen, you see. So it is only when you assess the remote cause before you can understand, because the universe functions on universal justice. Everything is according to, it's actually in the great wisdom there is perfection. So whatever happens, see. But then, when we have come down to the low frequency, then we are easily affected by what goes on. But then, we can raise our frequency to such a level that we are not affected. You affect the world, but the world doesn't affect you. You see, when you are in low vibration or low frequency, the world affects you. When things happen, they affect you. You move along with the emotions and the happenings and so on. But when you get to a certain state, it is only you can affect the world, but the world doesn't affect you. See? So if somebody leaves, it is just like you are in a vehicle. You're traveling with a vehicle and there are passengers. Everyone has where he will get down. So when you will get there and the person gets down, you are not going to, why you got down? You're not going to. No, it's something, the time he was getting in the vehicle, he already knew where he was going to get down. So when he's getting down, it's normal, you see, but...
So Doc, sorry, are you saying that, when you're about to die, do you know that you're about to die?
If you detach from low frequency, you know. Wow. But when you are mixed with the low frequency, you will not know. So it is said that as you raise your frequency, then your knowledge expands, and it gets to a point, things yet to happen will all be known to you. See, there is nothing you wouldn't know.
So Doc, do you know?
Most things I speak, they are realizations. I don't speak things which I'm not experiencing. Okay. But then it's not also in me to be saying, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I can do. No. When you actually come to a certain stage, if it is not because of compassion, you feel people must also be, otherwise it's not a need to come to the level where you are doing anything. It's not a need, but it's a feeling of compassion, you see. So what I know about myself is not something I go around talking. Mine is to help you yourself to also see or feel or realize. But when I'm helping you to realize it, definitely I'll demonstrate to you that I also have realized it. That's why I'm helping you to realize it. But it's not like just, my interest is not on my own realization, but to help you realize it yourself. Okay. Because the truth of the matter is that a person who is asleep cannot be expected to awaken another sleeping person.
Yes. Absolutely.
You see, it is only the one who is awake that can help another to awaken.
So we spoke about the spirit leaving and the soul.
Yeah.
But we haven't spoken about heaven and hell.
Definitions make some things non-existent, and certain definitions make it existent. So, example is God. When you define God in a certain way, it doesn't exist. When you define God in a certain way, yes, that exists. So sometimes if you ask, does God exist? I have to know how you are defining God. And then I can say yes, or I can say no.
But does God exist? My definition is there a higher being that is watching over us, that is guiding us, that the person that we pray to, does he exist?
First of all, when you ask such a question, there is something you are bypassing to ask the question. What you are bypassing is you. So something other than you. But who are you, the one who wants to know? Who are you? That one we bypass it. No, not just that. Because if you have amnesia and you forget everything, if your brain is not telling you you are Denta, they call that name and you don't think it's you.
You don't respond.
But you exist. So those things are adopted. You see, it's not the real you. The real you was there, is there, will be there, and these things are temporary. That's what I call false identity. You see, so the real you, we bypass it because we are thinking, we extend the senses and we want the sense to pick something great, our sight to see something great, our ears to hear something great. So we are outward bound. But the greatest thing is the one who is seeing through these things. And that is the real you. You see? So that is how to assess God. It's only to stop externalizing and immediately you are getting closer to what you call God. So it's not counted among the things external. No, that is a lie.
Wow.
See? So it's a matter of proper understanding and then one can really say yes or no to such things. Now let's come to heaven and hell. That was your question. See, I will tell you something about yourself. If I say yourself, your spirit, your soul functioning in the body, I already said that we have 7 centers in the body. The animal's body, it also has the 7 centers. But the first 2 centers only it is aware of. Its awareness is localized around the first 2 centers. So if the animal leaves its body, it becomes animal again. You see, as long as you leave from that center, you come back to that center. Those 2 centers. Now, when you pass those 2 centers, you come to the 3rd and 4th. The 3rd is here, what we call the solar plexus.
Okay.
From there, then the heart. So these 2 make human. So humans are localized around these 2.
Okay. 3 and 4.
3 and 4. And 3 gives you the sense of ego. It is its attribute. And that heart gives you openness, love. But this one closes down. I.
Pride.
Yes, so they are polarity, the 2. And humans are located in these 2. Now, when you go beyond these 2, we have one here and here. Immediately you move your awareness to the one here and there. If you leave your body, what you become is what people refer to as angel, demigod, and so on. When you assess up here, you are going beyond the body. And when you assess that one, then you are entering into source, the source you came from, the spirit came from. When it enters the body, then its awareness is trapped. But when it goes beyond here, then it's liberated. You see, and that is what people refer to as enlightenment. You see, So, in fact, the topic of heaven and hell, when you move below, you are human, located here and there. So if you polarize below it, it's like unnatural. Human, you are to be here and there.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. So when certain souls, they do things which keep them below that platform, then it's like hellish, in the sense that they experience so much frustration. It's like something unnatural, but they stay in it for so long that they really suffer, because it's unnatural. Now, if you move beyond this, then that is also heaven, because if you come here and here, then the attributes that come, they are angelic attributes, demigod attributes, you see. So there are beings who are using 5 and 6. 5 and 6. They are the angels and demigods. And you can reach those states whilst you are still in the physical body.
Okay. How do you reach there? What do you have to do to get to number 5 and number 6?
Number 6. Number 6 is assessed by light. Number 5 is assessed by sound. Usually we have techniques of light, techniques of sound. And once you have a good teacher, he can teach you with the light. You also assess here. That is what people refer to as third eye.
Yeah, the third eye.
Yes,
Yeah.
once you assess it, that means you are functioning. If you assess it and you are stable there, if you leave the body, you become what is referred to as angel. Yeah, or a demigod.
Is it the same as the pineal gland? And does what you eat affect that as well?
Yes, its location coincides with the pineal gland. And it will surprise you to note that all the others, they also they are at points which we have glands. It's interesting to say. Each of them is located at a point where there is a gland, all the 7.
Wow.
So then the gland is called pineal, and close to another one we call pituitary. And the two of them, they function together to give you that realization.
Going back to heaven and hell, I've seen a lot of YouTubes where people have said I was in near death experience where I went to hell, or I saw heaven, I saw God.
These are some of the things I was talking about, definitions. You see, you seeing, you see, anything that the senses are telling you, they are telling you. So you are the greater, and you are really using the senses. They are like tools. So whether you are using it to assess subtle things or gross things and so on, you, the one assessing the things, you are the greater. The things are not greater than you. In fact, the problem is this. It's just like the way water takes the form of containers. Any container you give the water, it will take. The same way, the spirit is always ready to express itself in whatever forms we give it. You see? So it is we, you, the real you, the spirit is so powerful that anything that you project as a form, then the Great Spirit fills it. So all the forms moving through your mind, he will fill it to make it alive. But it's not something eternally there. But because you projected that form, he fills it for you. So it's the real thing which is eternal is the one which filled it. But the form is not eternal. It's temporary for your curiosity, for your interest, for your absorption. Or you focus on something and he fills it and makes it alive. But he, the one filling it, is eternally alive. But the thing he has made is temporal because you made that form. And you projected it, and then he fills it for you. So these things, they are not real in the sense that they are not eternal truths. Let's take, for example, you meet someone and you say, this is Jesus. You have seen in the dream or in a vision and so on. Now, the interesting thing is that in the first place, even if he came to live, nobody was called, the time he was alive, nobody was called Jesus. If during those days you went to Israel and say, I'm looking for Jesus, everyone will look at you, what do you mean? Who is that?
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about, because there's no word like that. You see? So we make these things and our minds frame it. You watch, when people have a calendar and somebody is on it and you say, this is Jesus, it enters your mind. If every day you watch it and he's bearded, he's looking like this with flowing hair and
blue
so
eyes.
on. You are recording it in your subconscious.
Wow. You
are recording it in your subconscious, and your subconscious will project it for you, and it can be alive because your Great Spirit, or anything you focus on, he fills it to make it alive. And that form, you think that is Jesus. But you made it. You made it. But it's not eternally true that that is him.
Wow.
Whatever you expect, that is what may come. So if you expect that once you have seen Jesus, then some things are going to be good, well, it's a good feeling, and that is also good. So that will be a plus because you are thinking positively because you saw that. See, that is good, but it's all temporary thing. So hell, heaven, we are creating it.
Wow.
In fact, if somebody, excuse me to say, turns himself into, excuse me to say, a prophet of doom, that hell is coming, hell is coming. Everybody focuses, hell is coming. Something hellish will happen. Something hellish will happen. We are creators.
We are gods.
Yes. You see, when you live in fear constantly, something fearful will happen. So these things are truths we ignore.
You mentioned about the credit and debit, right? Do we reap what we sow?
Yeah, we reap what we sow, but sometimes you see that somebody is doing evil things, but it's enjoying. It baffles people's minds. The reason is already I mentioned that there are remote causes apart from the immediate causes we see. So this person is carrying in the subconscious section of his life, he's able to assess some things of the past which was credit. So the credit is coming. He deserves it because he had it.
Okay.
It is already there. By the time he's having it, he's creating minuses, debits. So when he finishes with the credit he has, something will happen immediately to block him from access. Sometimes maybe fire outbreak, everything is gone, and now he has to suffer from there going. You see, sometimes the whole life of the person he may be enjoying, and the other side, because it's a continuum, you see, so the universe is not in a hurry. He preserves the new debts he was creating, and then he bring him back for it in another arrangement. You see, so there is justice. Even the one who is enjoying whilst he is doing evil things, he's not free. The enjoyment will last for a certain time, and if he's still alive, something will break it immediately and give him the other side.
Some tribes in Ghana believe that you can talk to the dead and get answers from the dead. Is that something that is real? Is it good to do?
The truth is that when this dead person, he moves to the next layers, if it goes to higher layer, access to him or her is
Zero.
yeah. But those who are very close to the first this layer, then sometimes we can experience things which are strange, and when we connect to them, in the sense that you keep the person's form, and it's like you feel like he's right here now, then it's a pull on that person. You see, it's a pull on that person. So sometimes the spirit can really come in because one is actually focused on his or her form strongly, like he's here. You see, it's a belief system. One can reach the level in that belief that it makes things happen. When we talk of faith, what it is that you conduct spirit energy to flow into the lower vibe. You see, so when you become a conductor, then we say you are having faith. Just like two pieces of wood, one can conduct heat because it is dry, you just light it. The other cannot conduct heat because it is cold or it's wet. When you light it, it will not light. You see, so when you can conduct higher energy, then we say you have faith. You see, that is the main meaning of having faith. Now, if you have a little faith, that means you can conduct high energy a little. And sometimes the disadvantage is if you continue to think something negative whilst you are conducting, then to your surprise something happens and you don't even know it's you who have made it happen. When you have electricity flowing down, what you join to the electricity decides what results you get. You can put a heater to it and you get heat. You get a fridge, you connect to it and you get cold, which are opposites. So the same thing, you conduct high energy from the Great Spirit. The way you frame things, the way you express things, then the Great Spirit also does it. So when it is like that, we are surprised sometimes. We don't even know we have made it happen that way. You see, so that is how these things are working for people.
Wearing the color black to funerals, Is that the right thing to do? I've been to funerals where they're wearing different colors. Is it our culture? Is it what we've always known? Is it the right thing to do?
When people die, as I explained, if they didn't go far, but just to the next layer, then what is going on the physical level, they feel it a bit. They are so close, you see. So sometimes if the body is still there, then it has a tendency of trying to get closer to it. And the universe always wants that by evolution we go far away from the physical, because it's the lowest polarity, lowest pole, you know. So if we go far, we are getting liberated. So those who are so close to the physical, it's uncomfortable for them. They still are attached to the body. That is why some cultures, they burn the body. So when they burn it, then it's just like, then his attention goes away, you see. But of course, if he still have strong desires, in the long run, they will bring him back into, you know. Now, it doesn't really matter very much. If the spirit has gone far away, whatever goes on, any method they use, it doesn't affect that soul, you see. In connection with the black and all that you wear, realize this, the 7 centers I spoke about. Have you noticed that whenever people are talking about ghosts, they are thinking of something white?
Yeah.
You've noticed it? Yes. The reason is that when you throw white light in a prism, it shoots out into colors, and you get the rainbow colors. Now, the gray spirit, when it moves into from the subconscious side into the physical, before moving into the physical state, the light includes all the colors, so therefore it becomes white. But when it enters the body, it splits into the 7 colors. So the 7 centers, the lowest color, which is red, coincides with the lowest center. Then orange, just like the rainbow colors. Wow. Then the next one, the third one is the yellow, and the fourth is the green. So human life is polarized around these 2 colors. You see,
yellow and green.
Yellow and green. That is, the yellow is the solar plexus, and green is the heart. So that is where the human is located, and that is why things like our food and so on, the green, and when the fruit is ripe, yellow, and it dominates. So we are around this side, you see. And the problem is the black appears to be the opposite of the white, you see. So the whole whiteness means all the colors are brought together, you see. Now, when a person leaves, we are like sad. And in fact, when you wear white, then sometimes people are attributing it to, connecting it to when you are happy and so on. But the point is that when the spirit has left the body, immediately all the colors come together. So in fact, it is true that it becomes whitish. See? Now, this spirit has left in whitish form, and we are sad because we are at the other end of it. and black is like the absence of that white. You see, so for that matter, people wear the black that to indicate that that lively person is gone, and they wear the opposite because they are behind without him. Yeah, so black is connected with that, but it's just for that purpose. Yeah, it's polarity. So this pole, he's gone to the other pole, white, he's going. And when we get together, he's not among us. So he's, then they take the other polarity, which is the black.
Are the colors that you mentioned, are they known as chakra?
Yes, yes. They radiate from the chakras. Okay. So the lowest chakra radiates red. The second chakra radiates orange. The third radiates yellow. The fourth, green. The fifth, blue. The sixth, indigo, and violet. And it is the same with the rainbow colors. It is the same pattern.
Doc, I can't thank you enough for joining me on the show. I think that I've, again, learned so much from what you're saying. We shouldn't even be afraid of death. Again, about the mind, positive thinking, and the universe picks up everything, right? The universe picks up everything. Whew. Thank you for watching Soul Searching Hour. It's been an amazing topic on what happens to you when we die. I hope that you will join me next week for another great topic with maybe Dr. Jan or maybe somebody else. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.